So if you're wondering what this is powered by, it's not a wall power. And to be honest, I don't like powering stuff with wall power, because I always blow myself up and stuff. And you don't want to do that. Here, it's just powered by a single little battery. And if you don't... see what I mean? The wire's touched. That's what it's powered by. It's a 3.7 volt lithium battery. And that's all it takes to generate 14,000 to maybe as high as 20,000 volts on the output. So, before I get to how to make it, I have to go through a few safety things. Now, one thing you need to do, one hand rule. Only use one hand. If you use two hands, you could die. Number 2, this current is fairly high, and although it probably won't kill you, it still might, so don't touch it. Number 3, use a chicken stick. It's just a good idea. If you hold the wire, you will be shocked. Trust me, I know from experience. And just seriously, just use a chicken stick. Be safe. So, turn it on. Use a chicken stick just like that. Let me power it off because I need to not shock myself here, because I've already gotten a nasty shock off of it. So don't do that. Here's a light bulb. This is really dangerous. If you do that, you will be charged up at high voltage, and you need to make sure you're discharged, because you could be charged up, and you don't want that, because, you just don't. Because, and if you touch the switch or the battery while you're holding the light bulb, you will get a shock, because you're charging yourself up and sending electricity through you and out the other side of you. And that is a good way to get shocked. So you have to be very careful. Now, they're done with the boring stuff. How do we make this thing? Because here's how it's made. It's 15,000 volts, and it's made by an ignition transformer. If you don't know what an ignition transformer is, search it up. Actually, don't search it up. I'm going to put a picture on screen, because if you search up ignition transformer, you're not going to get anywhere near the same thing as what I have here. It's all going to be way different, and nothing I say applies. So, there's the picture of the ignition transformer. You get a good look at it. It's for propane ignition. Now, here's the thing. What was the thing? Your voltage, if you make this, could definitely be higher than what I'm doing right now. The reason why, I have a bad insulation system. It's screwed up completely and arc flashing over. So if that you could fix by putting it in oil or something, which I don't really want to do and I don't really have time to do, or oil. And if you do that, you definitely will get an even better output than what I'm getting. So it's pretty powerful. Number 2, it's made simply. You take the outputs, you can find which one's which. Mine has it has 2 coils, 2 high voltage coils, or maybe they're the same. Actually, they can't be the same, because there's 2 high voltage coils. One of them you don't want to use, because one of them might have a spark gap that's shorter than the other. Whichever has a longer spark gap is what you want to use, because you don't want corona discharging. I use the longer one. It's still flashing over, but it's doing it a bit less, and you're getting a better output. So you use that one, and you just solder some wires and you tape it the best you can. You're never going to be able to get it insulated well enough, unless you probably put it in distilled water or oil. Any other way, it's going to flash over, and it's not. And right now, it's just in a cardboard box, so I couldn't put oil in there. Then you have to do is nothing else. Well, you can solder some wires onto the battery holder, because normally this is meant to do one AA battery. I guess you could just use an IMR the same size as a AA, but I don't want to fit in there. I just want to get it out. So you can do that. You take the wires out, and then you put them out here. You don't need thick wires, just little thin battery wires. They're not going to heat up because it does draw a lot of current, but they're not enough to heat up. Here's a battery that's charged to 1.1 volts. It's 1.2. Normally, this is a lot less power, so the break rate will be a lot slower, but it'll still generate some pretty nice arcs. And I recommend starting off at a low battery power, because you'll have a quicker pulse and you won't get as bad of a shock, most likely. So just don't touch it. Whatever you do, don't touch it. Definitely use a chicken stick. If you don't use a chicken stick, you could kill yourself. So don't don't do this unless you know exactly what you're doing. So let me put the spark gap up here. Okay. Okay, there's a spark gap. Now, if I take these wires to the battery, you see there's a slow break rate, and that's what it is normally. There's a little lightning across the gap. It's pretty good. I don't want to touch it because it'll really hurt. Okay, why is it not doing anything? Yeah, it's not a very good... What's going on here? Okay, I fixed it. I don't really know what happened. I just didn't work. Now, we're going to be putting some different batteries into it. And, yeah. Okay, we're going to try a bunch of different types of batteries. We got AAAs, AA's, LiPo, a small LiPo, a lithium-ion battery, another, I think, lithium-ion battery. Let's try this out. So first up, we have a single AAA, which we'll do. Let's set a spark gap of about, what is that, like 2 centimeters, maybe? Okay, now, one AAA battery, we'll see what the break rate is. It's pretty good. Now we'll step that up to 2 AAAs, which is going to be hard to hold, but I should be able to do it. In series, not in parallel, of course. That would be dumb. I don't know why I would do that. Okay, now 2 AAAs in series. Very fast break rate. 1 AA. Sorry, I'm a bit sick. 1 AA. About the same break rate as the AAA. The mini LiPo, which has its positive and negative marked by little thin amounts of wire. Now, very quick break rate from the tiny LiPo battery. This lithium-ion 3000 amp battery. So let's get that on. I don't think it's really that many. Oh no, 3000 milliamp hours, sorry, not 3000 amps. Very quick break rate, very annoying to listen to, even by my standards. We're down to our last battery, which is probably going to have the same results as the last one. I can try it on USB, and that's about the same as this. Okay, I think this battery gives the most beast performance. Right here. And anyway, that's about it. Well, there's a little more to say. So, that's a lot of power. I'm not going to touch it because, it hurts. But that's about it. I'm going to end the video here because it's that simple. Yeah. Peace out.